Hello, this is Amanda from EDU620. Today I'm going to share with you a math fractions unit that I use with my classroom using my learning platforms. So first, my students logged into our It's Learning accounts through our school system, and they're just going to go to my name and my math course under courses. They're going to click on, of course, math. And here is an overview. This is where we're able to share bulletins with our students. I did share a kind of like a reminder, keeping in mind that I do teach students with disabilities. So this is a kind of quick access, quick reminder, a reference for them so they don't get frustrated with the process and kind of give up before they get started. So this says click on the resources tab and complete the daily activities under the access to fractions. So of course, as you see, click on the resources tab, which is here. And here's our two fractions task. The Nearpod that we use is going to be just a quick introduction, a quick overview of what they will be learning. I like to use Nearpod for one because my students are very familiar with Nearpod and they're comfortable with it. So the level of frustration that I receive with Nearpod is like very minimal. They know how to go in under the student page, watch the videos. They wait for me to kind of go over the videos. They share what they learned, and then of course they move on into the assessments. So typically we'll use the polls, we use the open-ended discussions that's posted in it, and they, will stop and do like a quick overview or quick assessment. So they can draw a picture, they can actually respond, and they can also respond and post and like or comment on their peers' comments. I always try to make sure I'm encouraging good digital citizenship so my students know what's accepted and what's not accepted. Something else that I wanted to share with you in Nearpod is each day of my lessons, there's a different activity. So you can see here is intro to basic fractions, adding and subtracting fractions, decomposing fractions, and of course equivalent fractions. So moving on, we are going to next access the fractions task. This is where my students will access, of course, my Weebly website. And here, they're just going to be able to, they have access to the link of my website, or they can access it here. This is where, my parents can come, the students can come and see their projects. So here, they're going to log into Student Task. And this is where their fourth grade fraction quest is going to begin. So of course we have our standards set up, our learning targets, and our introduction. From Monday, well actually basically during the week, each day that we're on this lesson, after we access our Nearpod as a whole group, they have notes that they'll take. This is Evernote where I'm able to really modify the notes for my students with disabilities who may need their notes written for them. They may need a modification of their notes, or they may need their notes closer to them. So this allows the notes to be presented in alternate ways for my students. So the next one is, of course, I use the YouTube videos for fractions, introduction to fractions, and of course, I go back to Nearpod to give a quick assessment of what they learned. We use Linoit within our lessons pretty much as like an assessment where they list what they've learned. They're able to share with their classmates, and we kind of give feedback. So we're able to assess them quickly using Linoit. All right, so the next day, of course, equivalent fractions. We've got vocabulary words, and that's on Quizlet. I like Quizlet because they're able to play, kind of match the words. They're able to hear both the pronunciation of the word and the um, definition. They're able to play match. They can spell. They're able to see the flashcards. So quizzes is really beneficial in that way. Of course, I use Khan Academy for, of course, more additional support when introducing the lesson. My students need a lot of real world experiences, hands-on, a lot of integration. So they're able to get real world experiences, especially with the Khan Academy apps, or I'm sorry, websites. With decomposing fractions, they're going to move into doing that. And I'm sorry, I like this video. I use it actually in my with my students because it not only explains it, it breaks it down, but it also has assessments within the video. So she'll stop, and of course we'll pause and complete the quick assessment together as a whole group, and then I'll do the second one so they can do it independently, just to kind of help gauge where my students are within the lesson as we're decomposing fractions. I enjoy using the technology within the classroom because I'm able to quickly assess them, work in small groups. I'm able to create goals on their individual education plans for them, for the misconceptions that I see throughout the lessons, and possibly give them a prerequisite goal in an effort for them to, continue to make achievement to this goal. As they're closing, they're going to complete a goal formative activity, which is where, again, it's just another fractions review, where they're reviewing what a fraction is, the numerator, the denominator, equivalent fractions. And of course with these, I like this because they have to actually show their work. So it's not like they can look on their partners or their neighbors' computers. They actually have to think and complete their own work independently. So adding and subtracting fractions, there's another video for that one, and that's actually on SchoolTube, and they're going to watch that one. And then there's another Linowit review, just review what you've learned, and of course respond to their peers. We do a lot of responding orally, since my students sometimes have difficulties with spelling, and of course in an effort to not embarrass anyone within the class. So we do a lot of oral responding to our peers as far as the Linowit goes. So their exit ticket for this activity is going to be Flipgrid. My students love Flipgrid because, for one, it allows me to give them their assignment via video. So I'm able to explain to them what they're supposed to do. They can go back and rewatch it over and over again. If they have any questions or they feel that they missed something, they are able to post, take selfies, add emojis, which they kind of feel like it's their own classroom social media, and they really enjoy watching themselves, watching each other record, listening to each other record. And so this allows me to give them their assignment. And again, while I'm working in small groups or, pulling students to work one-on-one with them, they're able to sit and access the work and continue to work. The next, as my closing, as a fraction review, we've got an equivalent fraction review review. This is where they're going to take a piece of construction paper and draw the models of the equivalent fractions on their paper, and they've got to find the equivalent fractions. So the model representation here is going to be very key in helping them to continue to build and understand their understanding of fractions. The group 2 is going to be working on an addition game. My students enjoyed this game because it gives them really quick, immediate feedback, and they're able to say, hey, I got that right. I thought I got that right. And, they could have made a simple mistake as far as not simplifying the fraction. So that quick assessment really is beneficial. The fraction game is the last thing that they're going to do. And of course, this one will be used as an assessment grade because they would have been have rotated the groups without this day in for Friday. And so this is going to be used for, of course, a grade and just a review of what they've learned. And this is quizzes. And again, just going over, reviewing everything that we've done for the week as an assessment. So at the end, I know if I need to reteach, pull a small group, pull a student, whatever I need to do to, of course, increase the student achievement within my classroom. So that is my activities, and of course, this is my website. Moving forward, I will definitely utilize more of my DeKalb It's Learning account. Of course, I will utilize my Weebly account and all of the other learning platforms that I have encountered over this course, listening to my classmates, as well as actually utilizing within my classroom. It's been very beneficial in increasing my student achievement as well as my student engagement, which that's the most important at this day and age with a set of fourth graders. So thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoy and have a good day. Bye.